Hi, this is Cindy from Part-Time Permies, and today I'm going to give you a little update on the chicks and goslings. Total count is 3 goslings and 6 chicks. I did move one of the broody girls with her chicks and gosling into the silky coop. I have used this as a broody setup before, so what I do is section off this whole right side so they get basically about a third of the area. Now I did switch out the waterer to this big one, primarily because I had this little chick waterer, the metal ones. I have some plastic ones around too, but this metal one really only allows for about 1/4 of an inch of water to be sitting in that little well down there. And the problem with that is that the gosling really needs to clean out nostrils and beak and stuff, needs to get its whole beak in there, and wasn't able to do that. So this one is deeper. I have another setup I would use as well, but those chicks back there, very cute, but they're still very small, and I don't need, we're trying to balance out here the need for the gosling, who's back there as well, to get their her nostrils, all washed out and everything, but not allow the chicks to drown in the water, because that is a problem as well. So we went with a little bigger water. I believe it's a 1 gallon, but has a little deeper well, so the gosling can wash out her nostrils a little more. The other nice thing about this setup is in another week or so, I'll show you the babies. In another week or so, I can take out the fencing that's dividing them off. Basically, once the chicks are big enough to get up and down the ramp. So, as you can see, there's a little bit of a jump into the coop from this ramp. So, now the trick is that later on, when the gosling gets to be full grown, I'm wondering if she'll be able to get into this coop with this size door, or if we're going to have to adjust the door again. I could adjust it. Right now it's nice because it just wedges up. I do have a board to wedge it up here, so I might have to figure out another setup for the door. But this setup, I don't know if she'll be able to duck through that. We'll just have to see how big she ends up being. Width-wise, I think we're okay, because this is over 1 foot. My hand span is about 10 inches, so this is probably about 14 inches wide. I'm thinking that's okay, but again, I've never had goslings before, so we'll have to see how big she gets. But height-wise is what I'm a little more concerned about, because it is a little bit low. And again, it's about, 18 inches, but the bedding builds up back in there. So there's a question on if she'll be able to fit through. So we'll see how she grows. If we need to adjust that down the road, we can. We've adjusted other parts of the scoop, like this wall used to be attached. We made it so you can open it. And Mama just put a bunch of bedding into the water. So let's get rid of that. Okay. So they do have a food container back there. They have just a small space in here, so yeah, they'll probably need more space soon. Those chicks are definitely quite active, running around, getting their water. Little camera shy. Little shy of me. So I really don't handle them very much. But they're just starting to get wing feathers, so they're looking good. These two can start getting used to the gosling. Chick waters work okay for the first week or so for the goslings, but this one does not let the water out as deep as the plastic ones do. So I'm still using the 2 plastic ones I have for the other 2 goslings, and then we'll try to adjust their setup in another week or 2. because they can get their whole beak into the water with the plastic ones. Nice thing about these tractor coops is that we can get them fresh pasture. The tractor coop was right in here before, and I realized they've eaten just about all the greens there, so we did shift them over. And now, see if we can focus past the fence. Now we have access to fresh greens. Yes, hi, Lucky. So Lucky's doing well. She's getting big. She's half the size of her mama. Gosh. She's definitely attached to her mama. Follows her mama everywhere. Is doing great. Is looking pretty darn strong. So you can see that. So she's getting big. Man, she barely fits in my hand anymore. She actually is more nervous about me now because she's been hanging out with, her mom, and I haven't been handling her so much. So, but they're in here getting their bugs, getting their greens. Now, once the chicks are big enough, I set up this other waterer here with little scrap fencing on top. I don't want to use this yet because I'm afraid the chicks might fall in and drown. But eventually I'm going to use this as the water once the chicks are big enough to reach over, for one thing. And it'll be able to hold water deep enough where Lucky can get her head in and wash out her nostrils and, her eyes and everything. And this keeps her from swimming in it and making a big mess out of the water. Now, because they're always washing their heads out, still have to keep clean water around basically almost daily, maybe even twice a day. You've got to rinse that out. So that is going to be the eventual system for watering. I think it'll work all right. This removes off very easily, and just goes right down around that. So she could get her head in, but not her body. So we'll have those set up. And I do have a bigger one for when she's full grown. Right now, it's acting as a table for the chicken water. But I can flip that over and do the same thing, put the fencing over it. So she can't use it as a swimming pool. Now eventually I might get her a swimming pool, like a baby pool or something. And that way she can learn to swim, but I'm not going to do that until she starts feathering out. And the reason is she's not, with the downy feathers, she's not actually creating her oils yet. So we could do a supervised swim in the next week or two, but I'd have to make sure she's completely dried off when she's done, because she's not waterproof yet. The plastic water, and there's a little more room. I mean, it's still not super deep, but it's a little wider so that she could get her full beak in there and kind of rinse out a little bit. She can't get her whole head in there, so it's not completely ideal. Sorry about the wind, but for the next couple weeks, that should work all right. I'll watch her size, and of course we got to watch the chick size, because as the chicks get bigger, I might be able to use that other waterer. Again, I have to wait until they're big enough that they won't fall in. I could set up bricks. Thank you. I could set up bricks around it so that they could get up and reach in, but I want to make sure they can't fall into it and drown. So that will be, we'll watch the sizing. Ideally, we'll do that. Ideally, I wish I could do that right now, but I'm just a little too concerned about the chicks. I don't need to lose chicks in the meantime, so just check to see how fast they grow. And the main flock is definitely interested in the chicks. and everybody in these nursery coops. So we moved these guys as well, and they're enjoying their fresh pasture. Somebody's been playing in the dirt over there. This little gosling's a bit dirty. So this is the youngest of the goslings. And this is the one that I really can't handle because mom overprotects her babies. So unfortunately the one in here is probably not one we're going to keep. But we'll keep her around, see how she does, see how the others do. Make sure everyone's doing all right. But these are the youngest group. You can see those babies, they're just starting to get their wing feathers in. They are, well, the gosling's a week old today, so the babies are less than a week. The chicks, I mean, they're less than a week. So the gosling's a week. She hatched last weekend on Sunday. The chicks hatched on Tuesday, so they're about 5 days old. Very cute. But you can see the difference in sizes. These chicks are 5 days old. This gosling's 1 week old. Over here, these chicks, just under 2 weeks. They're probably like 10 days old. No, 12 days old. And this gosling, Lucky, she is, how old are you? About 8 or 9 days old. I want to say 9 days old. So you can see the difference in size. She's about 2 days older than the other gosling. I'm not sure if you could get a good sense of that on camera, but she's already half her mama size, it seems. Almost as tall when she stands tall like that. But so they're growing up fast. Hi, Lucky. So that's the chicken gosling update. They're doing well. We have 1 gosling, 2 chicks per mama, and everyone seems to be getting along pretty well. The silky gosling, the one in the silky coop, her mama's been pecking at her feet a little bit, almost like she doesn't think that her baby should have webbed feet. I don't know, but I've been watching that. The baby has some scratches on her toes, but nothing horrible. She's also learning that when she wants to cuddle with her mom, she goes and sits on her feet. So mom doesn't have access to them. But that is one issue that I'm keeping an eye on over there. The waters, we'll deal with it, and as long as they can get their water and get hydrated for now, and then we'll get them some deeper water as soon as we can, as soon as the chicks are big enough to not drown. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Please like, subscribe, comment below. If you want more information on the different waters, I'll link them through the Amazon links below as well. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow.